It's time to find out what is in the ballroom. Let's do this. We enter it. Third candlestick on the left. A countless number of candles spectacularly illuminate this huge room. An old-fashioned grandfather clock stands on the right, ticking away with a morbid stillness. I step into the center of the hall, looking upwards at the oil canvases shimmering in the low light. Okay, that one on the left, Kid says quietly. 1, 2, 3. There we go. As Kid slowly pushes against the candlestick, it starts to move slowly. What's going on? I stammer, trying to brace myself. This entire room is slowly sinking into the ground, McGill says. The ballroom is sinking? All of it? Suddenly, the room starts to fall much faster. Chills run down my spine as I look around, seeing the paintings smacking against the walls and the candles dropping to the floor. As I start to get used to the sinking sensation, my heart fills with a violent mixture of anxiety, expectation, and hope. What awaits us at the bottom? The frozen flame. Could it really be down here? Is this our adventure's end? What if we actually take it into our hands? Kid, McGill, I wonder what they're feeling right now. As the room continues to sink underground like an elevator to hell, I start to hear Kid speak in a soft, meek voice. Sometimes I do struggle to win, even when I know I've already lost, just like that lady said. Why do I do that? Looking over at her, I realize this isn't the Kid I usually see. There, a faint, shy smile can be seen across her face. Suddenly, I feel something so powerful go through me. It feels like a wave of fire surging through my heart. Don't worry, we can't lose. There's no doubt. Whatever, Kid says beneath her breath, smiling faintly. Sayings like those never did make much sense to me. There's never a case where there ain't a doubt. Not a single one. But, thanks, mate. She looks towards me with a meek smile. Looking at her, I realize there could never be another girl like her in the entire world. Ever. The shy laugh she sported a moment ago has reverted into a sort of mysterious gaze. As I stare at her, she asks me, "Aye, what's up with you all of a sudden?" "Nothing. You just looked like a different person there for a second." "Really?" she says in astonishment, tilting her head. "It's probably because of the frozen flame. We're getting close," McGill says. His low, rumbling voice causes the shadows of the room to tremble. "What do you mean?" Kid asks with a wrinkled brow. "Look inside of yourself, and you will find the answer, Kid. The struggle for your catharsis is upon you." "What in the world are you talking about?" Suddenly, a metallic grinding sound can be heard from all around us. The room comes to a stop, swaying a bit. "Guess this is our stop," Kid says with a hollow laugh. I stand motionless, staring at Kid and McGill in the dim, flickering luminescence. Suddenly, the organ comes to life. Looking back towards the monstrous thing, no one is even near it. Nevertheless, It continues to play its strange, twisted tune, the keys and pedals moving wildly on their own. Sounds like a funeral march. Just kidding. Bad joke, kid. All right, let's do this, Kid says, taking a deep breath as she heads for the door. I glance at McGill, nodding my head as we follow her out. It's a funeral march, all right. Lynx's, that is. We're not even here to fight Lynx, kid. Just get this frozen flame and get out. We start down the long, dark path in front of us. The air down here carries a thick stench of death. Somewhere, further down this passageway, Lynx's subterranean hideout awaits. Kid's got a strange look on her face. I can't imagine what must be going through her head right now. McGill, on the other hand, I can never read him. But still, we usually talk a little, lightening things up. But right now, nobody's making a sound. I try to offer some conversation, hoping to avoid the increasing tension. So, what really is this frozen flame thing? Does anybody know? No response. Just as I start to think no one is going to answer, McGill starts to speak, his low voice echoing throughout the stone corridor. It was said to be a gem which soothes all scars, granting eternal life to its owner. Or so people believed. The frozen flame is more than just an object. It's not of this world. It descended from the heavens long ago, part of a huge meteorite. Once, there even lived a people who sought to harness its power, hoping to tap into their yet unknown potential. And so, it became a treasure of great importance and dreams. However, whether a gift bestows power is actually a blessing or a curse is another question altogether. Since the birth of humanity, at least one entire race has fallen because of it. These people once built a great, thriving metropolis with its power, but now, all knowledge of this era has been completely lost within the sands of time. A faint feeling of distress comes across McGill's voice throughout his speech. But then, how do you know about all this, I ask? Again, no answer. Keeping silent, I continue walking. Our footsteps once again become the only sound filling this dark path. Well, whether any of that's true or not, it'll all lead us to the same place. Say your prayers, Lynx. We're coming for you. That's all I know, and that's plenty. The frozen flame. What in the world could Lynx see in that mysterious rock? Flooded with thoughts, I pause for a moment to take a deep breath and calm myself. Continuing on a moment later, I feel as though I'm a bit more at peace. Suddenly, McGill comes to a stop. Do not move. Huh? Kid and I look around suspiciously. Around us, bones are scattered in all directions. Many of them have been cut cleanly in half. Looking around more, amidst the dim light, I start to see that the walls have been splattered with blood. Then, suddenly, a trace of light catches my eye from behind. There's a bolt of electricity approaching us, sparkling like a lit fuse on the ground. Coming within a few feet of us, the spark splits off into two, forming a circle around us. Once the circle is complete, an odd glow starts to shine at our feet. Then, from where the sparks had traced, the light shoots upwards, forming a wall of light all around us. Oh boy. I think we're in trouble. It's a devil circle. We try to move, but we find ourselves caught within the rays of light. Okay, how are we getting out of this one? Any ideas, McGill? With the scalding, noisy winds whirling all around us, all I see are rays of shimmering light in every direction I look. What do I do? I can't see anything in all this light. McGill grabs me by the shoulder and returns me to the center of the circle. Thankfully, he seems to be able to see just fine. His mask is probably shielding his eyes from the radiance. There is always a way out of a devil's circle. We must find the gaps to walk through. If you say so. Suddenly, Kid's elbow grazes one of the walls. Sparks scatter in all directions. She instantly snaps her arm back, wincing in pain. Unable to see any gaps whatsoever, I hesitantly start to make my way towards the blinding wall of light. Oh boy. I remember this. I got it wrote down and I am going to use it. 3 to the left. Wait, 3 to the right. Come on. To the right a little. There. Come on now. From where we stand, a small gap in the wall can be seen all of a sudden. Holding my breath, I leap into it with my arms shielding my face. All right. We made it through. However, I open my eyes only to see even more of these glimmering walls swirling before us. Unable to see any gaps whatsoever, I hesitantly start to make my way towards the blinding wall of light. So this would be 2 steps to the left. Oh yeah. This is why you take notes. 2 to the left. We've got to go to the left a little. There. Come on now. From where we stand, a small gap in the wall can be seen. Holding my breath once more, I leap into it, shielding my face as if though it would do any good. Alright, that worked too. And there's another wall of glimmering light in front of me. Oh boy. We start to walk. And this is 2 steps to the right. This wasn't really a threat. 2 to the right, yes. To the right, slowly. There. Come on now, we can do this. There's another small gap. We leap into it. Amazingly enough, the directions were truthful. I scurry away from the blood-curdling thing as fast as I can. Looking back, I see it vanish in a puff of smoke, just as quickly as it arrived. The wind instantly dies down as well, and all the dust and grime that was blowing around falls back to the floor in a flash. Everything has returned to a quiet stillness. Too quiet. And so, heading down the hallway further and further, eventually... At last... Kid steps toward the mighty set of doors, letting out a sigh of relief. Beyond this door, the frozen flame. From behind his mask, McGill's eyes let loose a cool radiance. Okay, let's go, Kid says eagerly, grasping the handle. Should we scan it for traps? Wow. That has to be it. This cavern sprawls out to great lengths before our eyes. A forgotten world, hidden deep below ground. And, with a scarlet radiance, a single small gem shimmers in the darkness. The frozen flame. Finally, we're here. The jewel shimmers warmly, almost as if it's responding to Kid's voice. Taking a few steps into the moist cavern, McGill whispers, "Remarkable. Intact ruins of the lost magical kingdom." Just as I start to ask McGill what he means, a taunting laugh can be heard from high above us. Lynx. Kid immediately pulls out her knife and hurls it through the air with all her might. As it approaches Lynx, he easily swats it out of the way, almost too quickly for me to see. Always the same. Such a savage little girl. Can't you give a gentleman an honest greeting? You bastard, Kid interrupts. And what have we here? The notorious Shadow Walker. I wouldn't be trying anything like last time if I were you. Beside me, I see McGill come to a stop. Lord Lynx, Viper Manor's deadly owner. The very same man who murdered Kid's sister, deceived Riddell's father, and eradicated the Acacia Dragoons. Welcome back, Kid. I see you have successfully taken the bait, gluttonous as ever. What? Kid says hesitantly, taking a step back. Lynx stares down at her with those frighteningly piercing eyes of his. You see, Kid, I've brought you here because of the rock you carry. Which rock? Surely you remember, the one you received from your sister, all those years ago. The priceless keepsake you carry with you dearly, even now. The chrono trigger. What? How'd you know about that? Kid's gaze returns to a scowl. No matter. We're here for the frozen flame. You're finished, you bastard. Aw, yes. Toss your little threats around. But remember, no matter how many times you think you have won, I have generously demonstrated how gravely you are mistaken. And with that, Lynx unsheathes a beautiful golden saber. Previously, I've overlooked doing away with you, letting you scurry on with your pathetic little life. However, this time, I may not be so generous. Kid takes another step back, glaring at Lynx as he approaches. Lynx, you murderer. I'll never forgive you for Luca. This ends here and now. And so, Kid leaps into the air in a fit of rage, aiming a kick between Lynx's eyes. However, just as she reaches him, he swiftly dodges. Kid stands there, wondering how she could have missed. Beside her, Lynx laughs, taunting her. Jumping up once again, Kid lets loose a fierce kick. Skimming the tip of her nose, her kick, skimming the tip of his nose, her kick cuts through nothing but air. In a parry attack, Lynx sends his razor-sharp golden saber through the air. But Kid's already leapt back. The two face each other, only a few feet apart. If only you had been a bit faster, Kid, Lynx says, smiling. All of a sudden, a line of red streaks across Kid's face. Kid? Wiping off the blood, Kid angrily rushes Lynx in a flash through the air. Effortlessly dodging, Lynx drives the sword into her back as soon as she lands. Kid bends back in alarming pain. Somehow, staying on her feet, she stumbles back and readies herself to charge again. Stupid little brat! Lynx lands an elbow onto Kid's shoulder, knocking her clear down to the ground. I feel her pain from the pit of my stomach as I start to see blood trickling from her lips. "What's wrong, little girl?" Once again, Kid tries to lash out at Lynx, but he easily kicks her, sending her back onto a pile of rubble. Lynx then looks upward, focusing his concentration on the ceiling. As I look up, I see a number of rocks have come dislodged from the cavern, tumbling down onto her. "Kid!" I call out as I start to rush over to her. However, just as soon as I start to, I see McGill's already there. He is streaked across the shadows, putting himself between Lynx and Kid. Saying nothing, Lynx shoots a thread of white light out of his fingertips. The thread-like substance entangles McGill, binding his feet together. He hits the ground with a thud. In a dazzling radiance, a countless number of threads fly out from Lynx's fingertips. They immobilize McGill completely, leaving only his head visible. "How does that feel, Shadow Walker? Have you felt my web start to drain your life energy yet?" Lynx says, smiling ominously. "Kid, McGill, what am I gonna do?" Let's try to free Dumbfounded, I completely blow my opportunity. No! I forgot about I didn't know the time limit was going to be like 5 seconds, those bastards. Finished with McGill, Lynx again turns his attention to Kid. "Really, Kid, some time ago you were actually something. But where has all your power gone now? Where has that happy little girl gone?" Lynx smiles coldly at Kid, collapsed at his feet. "Well, do you feel like handing over the chrono trigger yet? Surely you know by now it doesn't pay to be stubborn with me. Since I am a gentleman, stealing from an innocent girl just won't do. Perhaps your companion, the filthy-looking one, maybe he knows where it is. Will he require my persuasion as well?" Lynx starts to walk over towards me, trampling over Kid's head. Kid's dazed voice can be heard faintly. "Lynx, Luca's treasure. You. Oh, what am I gonna do? Let's try to free McGill." I hurry over to McGill. "McGill, are you okay? Don't worry about me." "Damn it." Behind me, Kid moans in pain. "Go, Sarge. You're forgetting what's important." "I was trying to strategize for the battle." McGill's eyes look straight over my shoulders. "Don't repeat the same mistake I did. Protect Kid." Damn it. Wiping the sweat and tears off my face, I quickly rise to my feet. Lynx brings his sword down in a flash. Her back arching, Kid screams painfully before coughing up blood. "Kid!" Apparently I made the same mistake. I was trying to go for battle strategy here. Kid's face slowly turns to me. Those huge pearly eyes stare straight into my soul. Something is being said from her barely trembling lips. Those lovely small pink lips, now stained red. And there, from her back pocket, she takes something out. No! Kid's thin hand falls to the ground, and her gripped fingers open. A small, dark jewel falls out. Lynx's eyes light up. The chrono trigger. Then, suddenly, a dark area starts to form around the gym. Its swirling darkness grows bigger and bigger. The darkness consumes everything around me. Did I screw up? Kid! This is not good. Oh boy. I don't like that music. What is going on? I'm gonna redo that fight if I have to. I'm gonna at least check it out if this is the end. It was! I got a horrible ending. Scenario writers. I thought that if we could free McGill, we could work together to save Kid. I did not know that she was that close to death. Well, again, I always make the wrong moves. If there's multiple choices, you can expect me to do the wrong one. This video is not over with yet, though. I'm gonna reload here in a moment, as soon as we watch these credits, and see if there's anything else. And then we're gonna get the ending where maybe we don't allow Kid to choke on her own blood, crushed under the weight of a ton of rocks. See, I was thinking we could easily cut McGill out of the web, and that he would, you know, use some magic levitation bullcrap to lift the rocks off of Kid. Oh boy. Why are my strategies always the worst? Why do the things I think are gonna work always ultimately fail? I feel like Kid sometimes. Everything that they've told her, repeating the past. Oh boy, seems to be a common theme here. I don't think there's anything else. We're gonna watch the pink flamingos fly anyways. The PR team, which I don't care about. Translation by Demiforce. Director by M. Katao. Pink flamingos, provided by the state of Florida. None were harmed in the making of this game, except the ones we had to squeeze lemonade from. No. I refuse that this is the end. I will not let this be the end. So, let me reload, get us back to that point, and, pretty sure that's the end, so... We're gonna see an alternate history here. What would have happened if Plump knew what he was doing? Okay, we're back. Let's see. Let's help Kid here. Kid! She looks over towards me. With blood trickling from her mouth, she only moves a little. Kid, are you alright? She lies there motionless, wincing painfully. Serge! It's okay, Kid. I'm here for you. How kind. However, I think you should be more concerned with your own well-being, young man. An icy chill runs down my spine as I hear the evil voice behind me. I stand up and turn around. It's him. So, you, whoever you are, opposing me is quite useless, as you obviously have seen. And in a flash, Lynx grabs me by the neck. He strangles me with his long, disgusting fingers. Then he starts to lift me up by my neck. Struggling for air, I painfully hang in there, unable to tear myself free of his powerful grip. Look, Kid. Look at your pathetic little companion suffering. You can make this all stop, if you want. With blood dripping from her lips, Kid opens one of her eyes, painfully gasping and coughing. She lifts her head up to us. She still wants to get up, but she's hurt far too badly. Serge! Hand over the chrono trigger, Kid. Little do you know, but that rock is actually a tiny, condensed universe. When combined with the frozen flame, it gains the power to bend space-time, allowing its owner to reshape history. This all could have never happened, if you merely wish it. Saying this, Lynx looks towards me, expressionless. And what about you, young man? Perhaps you know where the chrono trigger is? He asks, tightening his grip. Surge! What are you going to do, kid? Can you afford to let this little boy die without helping? How will it feel to have his blood on your hands? As Lynx grasps tighter and tighter, I find myself starting to lose it. Lynx's face becomes a blur. Suddenly, Kid's voice snaps me back to attention. I'm sorry, Sarge. What should I do? Don't give it to him. Don't do it, kid. My consciousness slowly fading. Stop. The stone. Here. Lynx looks over to Kid. His eyes light up as his hands loosen around my neck. Damn it. Abandoning me, Lynx rushes over to her side. Here it is, Lynx. Kid reaches into her pocket. Lynx draws closer. Despite being drained of nearly all strength, Kid manages to whip her knife out, fiercely slashing at Lynx. Screaming viciously, Lynx falls back, cradling his mangled face. Blood starts to trickle down from between his fingers. You! Lynx staggers to his feet, keeping his right hand on the wound. I will have such fun killing you all. With as much power as she can muster, Kid kicks at Lynx, sweeping him off his feet. Ha! Spitting blood, Kid coughs a little, but still, a smile manages to come through her agony. Oh boy. Kid! I run over towards her, still feeling the burning grip on my neck. Lynx turns to Kid, staring at her with his cold, evil gaze. Child, you shall beg for death soon enough. Every flavor of pain shall be yours. Prepare to join Luca, aka Marie. Hearing this, Kid's eyes slowly open and catch sight of Lynx. A red-hot gaze burns in her eyes. Slowly she rises to her feet. A shimmering light suddenly spurts out of the frozen flame. At the same time, a golden light bursts out of Kid's chest. Swirling around her, the light rises up, spreading outward in a glistening spiral. What is this? Lynx gasps. Kid's voice calls out from deep within the shower of light. You will not win, Lynx. She trembles, her eyes flowing with red tears. And then, a single voice can be heard. It's a deep, profound voice. The voice of undeniable honesty and truth. Long ago, in a far-off kingdom, lived a girl. Because of her power, the kingdom had come to an end, crumbling under its own weight. Many became engulfed in the temporal vortex that was created, never to be heard from again. But not the girl. She lived on, enduring a much sadder fate. Running from her past and fearing her future, she wanted nothing more than to be swallowed up in the surging waves of the vortex of time. Hating what she'd done, refusing what she'd said or heard, to simply continue living was her curse. But the stone, it had other plans for her. Turning back the hands of her clock, scattering her memories, she was granted another chance. Since the precious stone was in her possession, she carried with her all of its will and power. And so, she was born into this era, returning to reality as a mere infant. Is that Kid? It's gotta be talking about Kid. And with that, the fragments of the shattered chrono trigger fall to the ground softly. The cavern before us slowly starts to come apart, bending inward and outwards like a tear in reality, until we are completely removed from its existence. A single girl's voice resounds in the darkness. Please, this dark energy, make it stop. And for once the darkness did not absorb her plea. Losing all sense of reality and presence, I become engulfed in this realm, drifting aimlessly through the ages. The world flows, time dissolves, and people live and die. I can see it all within this mysterious ocean. The origin of time, every one of life's tranquilities is here. I can see myself as a baby, crying at my mother's side, where she gives a warm, proud grin. I can see myself as an old man, softly smiling, knowing that death will come soon. Infinite versions of myself extend like ghosts throughout this endless corridor of time. Everywhere I look, I see another life, another era. In this unfolded existence, I see countless lives and countless dreams. Resting in eternity. A kind voice calls out to me. A single song. Kid. Kid. Can you hear my voice? Kid? Answer me, kid. Please. Who's calling my name? Sarge? Where is this? Kid, you're here. That song, that beautiful song, it was Luca's favorite. Kid softly smiles, closing her eyes. I can see she can't help but shed a few tears for this long-lasting reminiscence. This song is actually something I composed in my earlier years, back when I was a musician. Kid seems to be very fond of it. You called out to me, Sarge. You called my name. Thank you. You won't leave me, will you? I'm here for you, kid. It all makes so much sense now. I know who I am, Sarge. I know what I'm here for. Let's go back now, okay? I think I'm ready. Lynx has pinned Kid to the ground. Oh boy. And now, you see your death. What do I do? Oh, okay, so I had to reload there because I messed up. Let's see. We're gonna protect Kid. Lynx will have to get through me if he wants to get to Kid. Oh, well, I get to put you both out of your misery at once. Lynx raises his saber overhead, ready to plunge it into us. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Quickly turning my head, I look in the direction of the voice. You! I had to reload because I waited too long. There, under a large hood, stands the old woman from before. So, Vera, looks like poor A couldn't keep their hands out of this after all, says Lynx flatly. Good to see you again, Master Lynx. Seems you've seen better days. The old lady, she's from Pore? The frozen flame. We will take custody of it now. It seems none of you can decide on who the rightful owner should be. The old lady gives a small signal, and dozens of armed troops rush out from behind her, securing the cavern. I will not forget this, Vera, Lynx shouts, floating up into the air. Brimming with hatred, Lynx's glance turns to us. And you will see death by my hand. Saying this, Lynx vanishes into thin air. The soldiers untie McGill and start heading towards us. The old woman gazes down on us from under her hood. I believe you all ought to come with us. Looking up, I notice the armed soldiers have swarmed around us, with their weapons ready. Seeing this, McGill instantly waves his hands in the air, calling out some sort of incantation. Darkness, envelop under my command. Suddenly, all light in the cavern is put out. It's now or never. Quickly, Sarge. I grab onto McGill, who's holding Kid. Together, we flee the cavern, vanishing into the darkness. Led by McGill, we make our way out of the mansion. Back in the forest, we see the search party's torches here and there hunting for us. Their militant barking can be heard as they continue to get closer and closer to us. We stop behind a tree for a moment or two, catching our breath. I look down to Kid, who's taken quite a beating. Are you okay? Yeah, mate. Fine. We're completely surrounded, says McGill. We must be on our way. Looking around, I suddenly see torches all around us, starting to close in. Kid suddenly lifts her head up. Go, Sarge. Save yourself. The troop is only after McGill and me. If they find you alone, they'll let you go. What are you talking about? I can't leave you now. Not like this. I told you. I'll be fine, mate. But? Don't worry. I remember now, Sarge, who I used to be long ago, she says, staring up into the night sky. Seeing the reflection of 100,000 stars in her eyes, I can't help but be taken in by that lonely, one-in-a-million expression of hers. Kid, don't worry. I'm okay. I'll see you again, she says with a smile. Someday, I know I'll see you again, without a doubt. She softly closes her eyes. Luca's chrono trigger was lost. For couldn't even get our hand on the frozen flame. But it's okay. It's all okay. Because tonight, in my heart, a shiny new treasure was born, Sage. The single most valuable, unstealable treasure in the entire world. Saying this, Kid stares at me firmly with those eyes of hers. Those bold, straight, honest eyes. Knowing who I am, it's bigger than all this. Bigger than Lanks, bigger than the frozen flame, and nothing can take that away. Not as long as I'm alive. At this moment, listening to her under the starry night sky, I find myself wanting nothing more than to be here with her right now. Staring into her eyes, I only wish time could stop right at this instant. Goodbye, Sage. Thank you. And with that, Kid turns her back to me and disappears into the darkness. Kid! Don't follow me. Please, don't follow me. Unable to control my feelings, I start to rush after her. However, a shadow abruptly blocks my path. It's McGill. He slowly shakes his head, a sorrowful look in his eyes. With that, his shadowy figure draws back, dissolving into the darkness. McGill! Kid! 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 Well then. And so, the curtain closes on another tale. However, another time, after the spotlight had faded from Kid, McGill, and Riddell. In another place, and another time, a similar band of adventurers had come forth, equally unsuspecting of their other selves, and life went on as they strode out into the great unknown. But that's a story for another day. For now, I shall put down my pen and get ready to end this video. As I softly close my grandfather's diary, I hear my mother's voice called me from downstairs. Didn't you hear me? Your friend is here. I turn around, already knowing who it is. My door opens quite energetically. Serge, we found some ruins of an old mansion up in northern Kitsune Forest today. Come on, let's go exploring. Man, I don't know if that's a good ending or a bad ending, but there we are. Together in another time and in another place. Was it all just a story after all, or did it really happen? Who knows? Endless possibilities, right? So, that is the second ending. I don't know if there are any more endings. I've been told that there are multiple endings through the game. There's also supposedly a bunch of bonus side stories, kind of like a New Game Plus, after you beat it. I don't know if I will get around to ever playing through those stories. I might. I just don't know yet. I might check those out before I played through them. So who is this supposed to be? Do you think this is supposed to be Chrono by chance? And Paige, maybe? Alternate egos in another universe? Pretty sure we all know who McGill is. I wonder. There's still a lot of the story that I don't know. There's a lot of the universe, the Chrono Cross universe, that I don't understand. I haven't played Chrono Cross very extensively at all. But this was a fun little story. Good job to the translation team. Only noticed a few mistakes, and those were almost all towards the end there. So is this the end? Or will there be more? Honestly, I guess we'll just have to find out in another time and in another place. Because this is where the video ends. Or at least where I walk away.